I'm Ted Hill. I'm the Headmaster of Chadwick School in Palos Verdes, California, and I also oversee Chadwick International School in Songdo, South Korea. I became an educator almost by accident. I was headed to law school and I deferred my admission to law school, and in the interim I received an opportunity to teach and coach at an independent school in Western Massachusetts. I was also a dorm master for a group of boys that were only about 3 or 4 years younger than I was. And I think just every day when I realized the influence that I could have on them and how much they needed positive influences from somebody that they could relate to, I think right from day one, the combination of being in the dormitory, teaching a couple of different subjects, and then coaching them in football, I'd say probably by the end of the first week, I realized, wow, you really can have a positive impact. And this is a huge responsibility that you have to be interacting with these kids. And I loved it so much that I deferred my law school matriculation a couple of more times before I decided that this really was it for me. My father had been a medical school professor and my mom was trained in social work, and so the idea of doing something to help other people had sort of been bred into all of us when we were very little. The best thing is always working with the students. We have great kids on both of our campuses, and so the more that you get to know them, the more exciting it is. When you get to know them as human beings, we're fortunate that we have small classes and intimate settings, so those opportunities are there. Coaching students, I've always found, is a really great way to get to know them, because you're not just intellectually involved, but also emotionally. Students are very, their self-concept is bound up in what's going on the athletic field, so you really have the whole child comes to the sport, and it's just a great way to get to know kids and to really have an impact on their lives. The most important thing that we can do with our students is to give them a sense of excellence in all areas and inspire them to strive for it. I would say the one and only thing that I would never change about this school, and by that I mean both Chadwick and Chadwick International, is the commitment to developing exemplary character. That is our goal, I would say, above all else, because otherwise, if we're just educating students that are highly capable and highly talented and are now very, very effective, but they are not morally centered, we're probably sending out a bunch of people into the world that are going to do enormous damage. And you can't pick up the paper nowadays without reading in the front page of people that are highly educated, highly intelligent, and they are doing enormous damage all over the world. And we want to be in the business of turning out students who are actually going to be doing good in the world. And so therefore the character part is what really gets me up and going every day, and I think is the central focus. I'm very fortunate in that my vocation, which is education, happens to fit with the idea of service. There's never a day when I go home that I don't know that I made a difference as a teacher. I know that I made a difference, and I can think of a number of examples during the day, but also then you have kids years later that come back and tell you that something that you said or something that you did really made an impact. A single teacher can have an influence on X number of children, and that has an influence on whoever those students come in contact with. And so in my mind, that's what I do every day, is to try to set up the conditions for our students to learn and thrive and go out and make a difference in the world.
Even a single school can truly change the world. And that is the power and promise of education. That is the big why of Chadwick, and that is our shared responsibility and our transcending opportunity. Let's give it our very best, together, today, tomorrow, and always.